Holman HR presents HR Fun and Stuff, infotainment that'll have you laughing, listening, and learning. With no further ado, here's your host, Michael Goldfarb.
Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Michael Goldfarb. I'm an employment attorney and I'm the president of Holman HR. If you're a client, welcome back. Always glad to have you. If you're not a client, we hope you sign up. Well, we're doing something new and innovative today. It is a new format for the Holman HR videos, and we're bringing in superstar guests to enlighten us all on different subject matters that affect all of us. We think these have great application to any company, whether you're an owner, whether you're managers or staff. This stuff is great. I think you're going to find it stimulating. So let's get this show on the road. I want to introduce you to our first guest, Ben Langa. Ben, welcome.
Thank you very much, Michael.
You made the distant trip all the way from where? The other valley?
Yeah, Oak Park.
Oak Park. Yeah, there's a show.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have you. Just real quick, although Ben's probably going to be able to lay this out much better than I can, but Ben is someone who can help all of us develop better habits, lifestyle, methods, just to feel better about ourselves and, live longer, I think, in the long run. So without, kind of giving away, Ben, let's fill in the people a little bit about, where do you come from and how did you gravitate to a lifestyle sort of profession?
Sure. I come from the accounting world, so it's kind of ironic that I'm helping people improve their health and lose weight, change lifestyle, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to be stressing us out.
Right, exactly. But as it is, there's so many people in America today that need that kind of help, and they've tried so many times to improve their health on their own, and somewhere they've fallen short. And so I watched my wife's parents each lose about 50 pounds apiece, and completely change their life and their lifestyle, and I just loved what it stood for, and so I joined them and gave it a shot myself, lost 31 pounds.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
That's good stuff.
And now I help others do the same and improve their life.
And I know you're part of a much better looking team.
Yes, yeah, my other half, better half, my wife is, we work one-on-one together, and we've got a baby on the way, so we're really excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
much. Everybody's applauding for you right now. No, I think it's fantastic. I mean, that kind of weight loss is really difficult, but I think, when I met you, what impressed me the most is the time that you've been able to maintain it, because you turn on the tube and, there's everything from, strap a rope around yourself, suck it out with the machine, take a pill, whatever, right? And we all know it's a multi-billion-dollar business, and people put it right back on. I mean, isn't that the case?
It is, and unfortunately, 85% of people who lose weight will gain that weight back within 2 years without lifestyle change.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so, a big part of where I take it you come from and your wife when you're helping people, that's the key element. It's lifestyle.
Absolutely. If somebody's not interested in changing their lifestyle, it might not even be healthy to lose weight, because then you gain it back. You typically put on more weight. So what we do is we really help people not just lose weight, but learn how to live a healthy lifestyle where they can keep the weight off, they can be happy, and ultimately live longer.
So if I'm addicted to Reese's Pieces after 10 at night, I'm in trouble.
Well, I mean, certainly you don't have to be perfect to be healthy.
Okay.
Reese's every single day, maybe not a great idea, but once, twice a week, why not?
Okay. All right. Good plug for Reese's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's switch to the next slide, and we'll be back in a second. Welcome back, everybody. We're on slide 2 with our guest Ben Langa of Take Shape for Life, and we are going to jump right into the meat of the issue. The meat of the issue. There's a relationship. We're talking obesity. Something I know nothing about, and of course nobody out there does, because America is such a fit place. I mean, come on, it is ridiculous. It's splashed all over the headlines. We're all aware of it. Everybody is running around with a sack hanging over. This is a problem. I tell people, somebody who comes from Canada, the portions that we get in a restaurant in America is insane. It is like a feeding frenzy. I've never seen, people walk out with shopping bags that they call doggy bags. It is really epidemic. So, that combined with the fact that nobody does exercise except use their remote, it's a problem. So how do you come at this, Ben, in terms of, Take Shape for Life's philosophy? How does this meld with lifestyle?
So we're looking at addressing the entire problem, and when I say that, it means that there's so many things that go into health besides just being overweight. And so we're looking at everything from sleep, different types of stress, what you put in your body. All these things add up to either creating health over time or putting you in a sick or non-sick state.
That's all valid points. And just by the way, for full disclosure, we are not caffeinated. This is water. So we're doing good here. We're abiding. So you're talking. I picked up on one thing. You mentioned sleep. How does sleep factor in? What's important about it?
It's really important that people get adequate sleep, because this is the time when our body is, it's recovering. If we're losing weight, this is a time when we're kind of flushing out toxins, and it's really important that we have adequate sleep. And a lot of people just don't live that kind of a life. They're maybe getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep when, people on average need somewhere like 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
So, I notice on your slide we talk about reduced quality of life, energy, medication. I would think that sleep, is there something that do you guys focus on ritualization, bringing ritual to your life?
Yes, absolutely. It's very important. And my wife and I actually, we took some steps to improve our sleep. One of the things is we changed the color of our bedroom. It's now like a light blue. We have dimmers in our room, so we dim the lights before we go to bed. We don't do any electronics, within like a couple hours of going to bed. And so it's kind of our time to relax, read a book, and settle in for the evening.
So I should probably shed the mirror on the ceiling.
Well, I mean, teach his own, right?
Yeah, the strobe and never mind. So good points. I think and I know we can all relate to this. There's times where I'm yawning during the day, and because obviously sometimes you can't avoid it. You're not going to sleep well. But it's interesting on your side. You talk about reduced medication, energy. So there's a lot of benefits from reducing our weight.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as far as medication goes, it's really kind of a scary statistic that the United States is about 5% of the world's population, yet we consume over 50% of the world's pharmaceutical drugs.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is a really amazing statistic. And you see it on TV, even though some of the stuff isn't really, quote, drugs, they're not FDA regulated, it's the pill pushing. Yeah. For every aspect of life, it is really astonishing. Everyone wants a quick fix. Can you really say there's a quick fix?
There will never be a pill that you take that will create radiant health. It just doesn't exist. If you want to create radiant health, it's lifestyle.
Right. No fountain of youth, no magic bullet.
It takes work. Right. It does take a little bit of work, and that's what's cool about what we do is we provide support and really help people along this journey, because it's difficult, and when you're making a change in lifestyle, it's tough. I mean, when you smoke cigarettes and you have to quit cigarettes, you don't have to smoke cigarettes to survive, right? However, people who are obese and they need to lose weight, you have to eat, so it's really difficult for them, to kind of sort things out to where they're making those kind of changes.
Really interesting stuff. And I noticed the last thing is, on this slide talks about productivity. And I know to our constituent watching this webinar, we're big on productivity because we're talking to employers. And so there's obviously a big correlation in terms of what you've seen between lifestyle change and productivity.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have somebody that's overweight, they're uncomfortable, they've eaten so much that they're about to go to sleep on their desk, you're not going to get near as much out of them as somebody who's vibrant, healthy, has stable blood sugar, insulin, and is really living life to the fullest.
That is so, you hit that 2 o'clock wall, everybody.
Yeah.
We know, man, you just want to curl up and go to sleep. All right, we're going to move on to the next slide. Stick with us. All right, so we're back. And now we're really going to start showing everybody just how America is losing this battle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's astonishing. And I think, as we progress through these slides, I think everybody's going to see, how massive this is and how relevant what you do is to kind of help start to reverse this trend. So what we're looking at here, explain this slide to everybody out there.
Sure. So this is a MODAC study that the CDC did, the Center for Disease Control, and they're looking at obesity rates in America. It started in 1988, and as you can see, most of the country is somewhere between like 10 and 15% obesity. Few states there we didn't have data on. But we'll take you through a series of slides, kind of fast forward 10 years at a time, and look at the trends of obesity in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, because you can see, this is our cheat sheet, by the way. It's interesting because you can see, quite a number of states were less than 10%, and then, a few, including, we're in California, most of you know that. We were up around 10 or 14, which is interesting, that even at this stage of the game, as I'm looking, I can see, I think that's Maine way up in the corner and California down in the other corner. You wouldn't think, you think California pretty health conscious, that we'd be kind of skating below that. We're not. We're not. I guess that's fast food joint in every corner. Okay, this was a quick one. We're going to move to the next slide. Don't go anywhere. Come back. This is getting really depressing. You're going to have to pick our spirits up, Ben, because wow. So what we're looking at now is basically the continuing CDC study. We're now 10 years out, so we're in 1998, and it's getting pretty ugly. I mean, we're looking at, a lot of the country's dark blue, so we're in the 15 to 19% obesity rate. That in itself is astonishing. And it's spreading. I mean, nobody seems to be in the clear anymore. So, what do we take away from this particular shot?
Well, a lot of things have happened at this time. We start to introduce all the low-fat diets, the low-carb diets, all of these different diets where we're taking your nutrition out of balance, and we're searching for an answer. And unfortunately, it's not working here. And as you can see, the Southland, they're impacted even greater. You can see these obesity rates, 24%, 20 to 24%. So a quarter of the population has a BMI of greater than 30.
That's really, you think in California we'd all be surfing, we'd be ahead of the game. I'm getting depressed. I was really, I'm proud to be in California, because when I travel, as most of you might, you try to get a salad outside California, you're lucky if there's anything green in there,
Right.
I mean, you think, but it's amazing. So even in California, we're doing a terrible job. So do you guys help in what you do with BMI, and if so, how do you do it? I mean, what's part of how you do that?
Sure. Well, the first thing that we do is we look at their nutrition. We help them implement 6 small healthy meals throughout the day, so it stabilizes their blood sugar and their insulin. And it gets them to start losing weight, and not only losing weight, but preserving their lean muscle mass, so they're having the healthy weight loss.
So when you say healthy weight loss, give me a little more, I'm going to say it again, give me a little more meat on that bow, man. What is healthy weight loss? Explain it to us as lay people. What should we be thinking about?
Well, one thing you want to think about is preserving your lean muscle mass. So a lot of diets where you're taking one of the major macronutrients out of your diet, it's not so healthy, and your body can actually start to kind of cannibalize muscle for what it's not getting. So what we do is make sure that your body is getting everything that it needs, all the nutrition, all the macronutrients, micronutrients. So the weight that you're losing is the weight that you want to lose, which is the fat.
Well, that's it's fascinating. I think a lot of us have heard drips and drabs of that, whether it's from a doctor or, some kind of a specialist. I know that's really important. It's kind of like the same concept about working out, where it can be aerobic versus anaerobic,
Sure.
And it's very important to gauge that and keep that. So when you're talking about all of this type of healthy weight loss, do you, as as someone advising people, is there, in terms of diet, and is that something how specific do you get?
Sure. We get very specific, but one of the great things is that we actually utilize a meal replacement. And the nice thing about the meal replacement is that it gives the client everything that they need, so they don't have to think, they don't have to prepare. So it really makes it easy to kind of get the weight off safely, quickly. And then as we're doing that, we're teaching them how to improve the components of their meals, how to improve upon the portions that they're having and everything. So we do get very specific, but in the beginning we want it to be so easy for them that it really gives them the best opportunity to get down to a healthy weight in the first place.
It's interesting. So if I'm a manager, owner of a company, and I'm thinking, I want my people as healthy as I can get. Look, there's an altruistic reason for it, which is I want my people to have healthy lifestyles and enjoy themselves. There's also a selfish reason. As a business owner, I want people productive, I want them working. So in terms of the dietary aspect of the, approach to a fit, healthy lifestyle, can that be carried over into the workplace? Is it feasible in terms of the diet?
Yeah, I think it certainly is. I used to work for an accounting firm, and when you go into the break room, there was every bad thing you can imagine, right?
Sure.
I mean, it was all candy, cookies, muffins, all that stuff. So essentially, had there been just healthy things in there, we would have eaten healthy things, but there weren't any healthy things in the kitchen. And the same thing happens in households too. The mom buys the groceries, brings everything into the house. Well, if the groceries are of poor quality and little nutritional value, well, that's what the child eats as well. And so here you can certainly implement that in the workplace and bring healthier things in as you learn what the healthy choices are.
So on the vending machine with the good stuff in it, I'm referring to chocolate. we should have a skull and crossbones. That's what you tell me. And then we should have another slot for broccoli.
Yeah.
No, but I get it. You're really saying, I think there's an obligation employers should consider here, which is, what are we loading in those machines? What are we making available to our staff, correct?
Sure, absolutely.
That's it, because again, we're talking about lifestyle, we're talking about choices, both in our own personal lives, but as management and as employers, think about it in the workplace. What are we presenting to our employees? We talk about smoking cessation. We talk about all these things. We have our people walking around parking lots to lose weight. I know, because I've almost hit a few. And we got to really focus on the nitty gritty of this. What's in our lunchroom? I hope you're getting stuff that's really valuable here. I am. We're going to move on to the next slide. Welcome back. So everybody got their salad in front of them. We're all getting healthy right now. We're making post-New Year's resolutions. We should be doing that. We really should. And I think, back again with our guest Ben Langa, Take Shape for Life. And I think you're giving us some food for thought. Oh, that is, they're booing me for that. They're throwing things at the video right now. So now we're looking at 2008. I mean, at this point, I want to shut my computer down, because this is, wow, is this a mess? I mean, we're looking at dark browns in probably an eighth of the states, but we're talking a greater than 30% obesity rate in places like Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma. I was stunned when I saw Oklahoma, because, you just, I don't know. I don't think of Oklahoma. It's kind of flat. It's nice. I don't know. You don't think of. What's interesting is Colorado.
Yeah, they're holding out.
What are they doing? It's all the skiing, making snowman. I don't know. That's really bizarre.
Apparently they didn't get the message.
Yeah, really, that really struck me. So that we're falling by the wayside here, Ben. It's all coming apart. I mean, Hawaii's, So as the slide indicates, this is a growing epidemic, and I mean, can you give us any words of optimism? Is there a way to turn this tide?
I think there is a way to turn the tide, but it takes effort, and it takes education, and it takes people coming together and helping one another. So Maybe you help a relative or a friend go for a walk once a week, or instead of going to the ice cream parlor on the weekend, you guys go for a hike together. Little things that are incremental, but over time they'll help to move this country in a better direction. Because right now, the way that we eat food, it's mostly just sugar laden. There's very little nutritional value to the foods that we consume, and they're very high calorie.
So that's an interesting point. So let's face it. I mean, I myself and most of the folks out there, we're obviously, we're not going to become vegans, and we're all going to still go to restaurants. So as part of your education, as part of how you would educate us, what would you say to those of us that, we know stuff isn't good for us, but how do we start to think so that we sort of break that pattern?
I'm really glad that you asked that question, because one of the cool things that we have with our program is not only do we have a textbook that helps people learn all about health, nutrition, but more importantly, we have a workbook. So you can take what you've learned in the textbook and actually apply it to your own life. So you're kind of putting together your own personal plan. And a lot of these things, people already know about health, but they're not implementing it in their own life. And so that's where we come in and we partner with them, and we help them create a plan where they can implement all the things that they're learning.
So it's interesting. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm learning. And what I'm getting is that a big part of, what you and the other members of Take Shape for Life are doing is really mentoring and coaching. This is far more than just giving someone a bag of food they can heat up in their microwave and say, you'll lose weight.
Right, exactly, because that doesn't give them any real skills, What we want to do is empower people, give them the skills, the confidence, the competence to really be able to maintain their health.
So let me ask you, we've kind of gone through a timeline here showing the obesity rates. I'm curious about, Take Shape for Life. How long has that been around?
Take Shape for Life's been around for 13 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? So it's over a decade? And,
yeah.
and how did it get started?
That's a great question. Take Shape for Life started by a fellow named Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. He was a critical care physician. A lot of accolades, was graduated first in his class in medical school, worked at the Cleveland Clinic, the heart clinic, and essentially what he did was he had people come into his ICU that were very sick, very, very sick, and he would do some Star Wars-like surgery on them, fix them up, and they'd be on their way. But guess what? 2 or 3 years later, they'd be right back on the operating table because they didn't change any of their lifestyle. And so he thought, you know what? If I could get to these people before they come into the ICU, I could really make a difference. And so he left his practice, walked away from a 7-figure income because he had a dream that he could help get America healthy. And he knew that it was really important that people had support, and that it was very simple. It needed to be inexpensive. It needed to be effective. And people needed to see results right away. And that's where he realized that a meal replacement would really work well, but it had to be the right meal replacement. So he looked at all the different companies, and he found Medifast. And Medifast has been around 33 years, a leader in the industry, studied at Johns Hopkins. And he thought, hey, you know what, you guys, you have a great product, but alone you're just a diet. And 85% of people who do a diet, they fail after 2 years. They gain their weight back. So he said, what do you think about us partnering? And we put together a comprehensive program where we're not only helping people lose weight, but more importantly, we're helping them change their lifestyle.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, we needed to know the background information. And obviously, that's a really strong resume. But the 2 words that really stood out for me in what you were saying was simple and effective. I mean, we know it translates into any aspect of business. The best managers, the best leaders provide simple guidance that has proven results. Right. That's how, and that's what we're talking about, because that's what motivates people to stick with something. It's when getting to a particular goal may not be the end result, but the steps along the way are doable, they're simple, they're manageable, and you see effective results. Clearly, I mean, you're actually, you're the best sort of poster guy for what this does. And that was great information. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We've got some more important information for everyone. All right, welcome back. We are here with Ben Langa of Take Shape for Life. And now we're going to talk about, I think, the real nuts and bolts of where we're going with this. Not just how it applies in Take Shape for Life, but how the aspects of getting yourself healthy are just important, and what people need to know if they're going to embark on some kind of healthy lifestyle program. So one of the things we notice on this slide, and I was impressed by it and I'm curious about it, we touched on the founder in the previous segment, but it says physician-led. And I'm struck by that because, you know, if we watch a lot of the advertised dietary programs out there, they shall remain nameless, but really, you know, you don't get a sense that there's professionals that are accessible to the people using it. What exactly does physician-led mean? Not just from, you know, Take Shape for Life's point of view, but how does it apply and how do you see the benefits of it?
Take Shape for Life being physician-led essentially means about 25% of health coaches are actually physicians or doctors. And what I can say about that is that these people are kind of on the forefront where they realize that traditional medicine, which is treating the symptom, is not really getting to the root of the problem. They're recognizing that they can have a much greater impact on people's health if they actually help them improve their health through diet and exercise rather than prescribe them a pill. And
so these are kind of doctors that have a, would you say they have a certain approach, a certain focus? What would that be? Is it more holistic?
Yeah, not necessarily just holistic, but they realize that people need more than just the prescription of you need to eat better and exercise. And unfortunately, in today's medical environment, that's all the time that doctors have because of insurance. And so that's not enough. You know, somebody just telling them what to do is not enough for them to make any sort of change. So
what does in any health wellness program or weight loss scenario, what is the doctor or the physician's role? What should they be providing as advice? Because I'm sure a lot of the individuals watching this, whether they participate in a Take Shape for Life or whether they just seek their own program by themselves, what should they be looking for in physician support?
Somebody that's really going to partner with them and helping them improve their health and maintain their health.
And so what are the telltale signs? What are some of the things that, for example, the physicians in Take Shape for Life, what kind of questions do they get? What advice do they provide?
Oftentimes, either they're coaching their patients themselves, or they have somebody in the office, maybe a physician's assistant or a nurse, who's spending a little bit more time than just the office visit. So, and they're actually consulting with them, and they're talking about things like their exercise, their stress, and all these different habits. And not only that, but how we can improve them, how we can implement change into their life so they can improve their health.
So that's really important, because it sounds to me that if I'm going to a doctor and I have access to them by phone or however that is, that's important, because if I'm feeling any adverse effects of what I'm doing, it's important that there's a professional I can reach out to, albeit it might not be my family doctor, but maybe that, you know, having that support, they can say, okay, you know what, you need to actually go to a doctor. There's someone you can rely on that's gauging your health. I mean, is that a fair statement?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The next thing is, and I really like this, you know, the mission to get America healthy. I mean, it clearly is a need that hasn't been met, because America is going in the opposite trajectory.
Right.
And with respect to the mission, so from your perspective, and obviously we've touched on your organization's approach, what really would you say, whether it's Take Shape for Life or any other lifestyle programming, what are the really key factors that anybody watching this needs to focus on to turn that corner in terms of their health?
I would say first get the support that you need, and oftentimes people don't recognize that support is such a key component in making any sort of change. For instance, people who struggle with alcohol addiction, cigarettes and stuff, oftentimes they become some part of a support group. And the same is true if you want to improve your health. Surround yourself with healthy people. Make sure that you have somebody who can lead you and show you the way.
So it's interesting because it kind of is, the philosophy behind the 12-step programs, between group therapy, that it's true, birds of a feather. And if you get that reinforcement, we all seek it. We do in business. We want that accolade from our manager. We want that pat on the back. So part of what you're saying is, in addition to surrounding ourselves, obviously, with people that are like-minded, a good health lifestyle plan should involve support. How do you guys deliver that kind of support?
We deliver one-on-one support, actually talking with our clients over the phone, in-person meeting if they're in our area, but of course we have clients all over the nation, and we're able to support them over the telephone, also with email, and just walking them through the Habits of Health system.
And will you take your time? Is that important? I mean, one person might need more help than someone else. How do you sort of address that?
Sure. Some people are going to have different needs than others. For instance, somebody who just needs to lose 10 pounds and it's a small tweak versus somebody that's looking at hundreds of pounds to lose, they might require a different level of support, and the health coach is going to be able to offer that support to either situation.
That's fantastic. I mean, this is really, I'm really glad we're exposing everybody to this. I think the knowledge that whether it's Take Shape for Life or any wellness lifestyle program, it's really important that there's certain components to be successful. As a recap, one, we want to talk about having physicians there to advise and make sure that we're not getting into trouble. Two, it's valuable to have support, both in terms of our personal lives with who we're hanging out with, and the person or entity that's coaching us. So these are really key factors. I think any of us that have battled with weight loss, that have battled with just feeling healthy and gone on that up and down slope, this is pretty much why. And I think what you're saying translates well. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, we're back. Ben Langa, we're getting healthy. We're feeling good. It was depressing at first.
There's hope now.
But there's hope. I was wiping away the tears, folks, during our breaks, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic. So we're talking about now, we are going to focus on Take Shape for Life's approach, because that's who you're associated with. And we're talking about the system, the comprehensive approach, which we've been focusing on. And again, whether it's Take Shape for Life or any other health coach, maintenance, weight loss program, comprehensive, the quality of being comprehensive is vital. The support, the professionalism, the approach in general is got to have all the elements. We all know that weight isn't staying off. So let's focus on what is it about Take Shape for Life, Ben, that is comprehensive. How do all of these gears, as we're looking at, fit together?
Well, I want to make one thing clear. First off, it's that Take Shape for Life, it's not a diet. We're much more than a diet. We're a wellness program. And our comprehensive system consists of three components. First, we have a health coach that works one-on-one with each individual client to really help tailor a plan that's specific to their individual needs. Secondly, we have what's called the Habits of Health system. And here it's a textbook, a workbook, and a DVD that all go together to really immerse our clients in health and knowledge, and really so we can focus on making lifestyle change and not just weight loss. And then lastly, we have the MetaFast 5-in-1 plan. This is where we're able to easily help our clients implement 6 small healthy meals throughout the day where they can have healthy weight loss.
That's I want to focus on that actually first, which is the 6 meals a day. That's really interesting because I think a lot of us are aware, we've been taught that it's better to actually have multiple little meals every day to keep weight at a minimum, not gain, as opposed to gorging at less intervals, like once, twice, or 3 times a day. So that's interesting. So what you're talking about is you guys, as part of the MetaFast plan, you actually provide the food and the portions, so you make it simple.
Sure, we make it super simple. 5 of the meals we provide for you, which would be a MetaFast product, and then 1 meal you prepare either at home or you can have out at a restaurant, and it's just 5 to 7 ounces of lean protein and 3 servings of vegetables, and we have guidelines that go along with that, so you know exactly what you should be doing.
Okay, so and I know a lot of people watching this are going, okay, all right, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, we all got the little boxes, the little foods delivered to your house. And I'm not belittling it, but let's face it, everybody's going to go, okay, we get it. Let's focus on the other one. You're talking about habits of health.
Yeah.
So, because I think, from my perspective, and I'm just going to be very blunt, I think for any of us, the 2 intangibles that make lifestyle choices and changes the most challenging are support and habits. So let's focus on habits. Give me some bright line, headlines or ideas. What kind of habits are we talking about?
A great one I can speak about right now is we have something called Stop Challenge Choose. It's a 12-week transformation that we're helping our clients through. And the concept is that before you make a choice, a food choice or whatever, that you stop, you challenge your thought, and then you make a decision accordingly. And we equip our clients by helping them find out what it is that's most important to them, and then we structure their lives around that. And so if what's driving them is to be able to stay at home, with the grandkids, have the energy to keep up with them and everything, but right now weight is holding them back, before they make a decision at a restaurant to have a double cheeseburger or a nice salad with chicken, they're going to say, okay, what I really want is to be able to play with the grandkids, have energy. I can have this cheeseburger right now, but it's not that important to me. What's more important is the grandkids, so I'm going to choose the salad and the chicken. And these are things that we work with our clients one-on-one, so they really have substance, so they can make lasting change.
I love that. Because I think we all go through it, whether we're really focusing on change or not. We're all cognizant that when we're sitting in front of potatoes, and I know when I sit in front of whether it's fries or it's hash browns, the thought does go through my head. Well, I can eat part of that and leave some of it over. And I know myself, and I think I'm pretty typical, that if I starve myself or if I deprive myself, I'm not going to last. And it sounds to me, Ben, that just part of the basic advice that sounds so obvious but we forget it is what you're telling people is part of it is know what you want and then really think about what you're doing, if it's going to let you achieve that, or are you really just hindering it, and how you're going to feel after.
Yeah. It
sounds like that's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we do is we help people set goals, and a lot of times they want to have a very superficial, like, why do you want to improve your health? Well, I'm tired of being fat. Well, the problem is when you're just trying to run away from a problem, it's not a very good motivator. So we find out, what is it that you actually want in your life? What do you want to create? And then we help them get it. And we really get into the nitty-gritty of that and go below the surface.
I like that. I mean, I'm hoping that everybody out there is sort of understanding the message here. Again, no matter what approach you take, is really have a goal.
Yeah.
And then want it, whatever you do, if it's visualizing it. And then the key to it is moderation. It sounds like a lot of what you do is to help people stay focused and to keep the concept of moderation. You're not here to tell people that, again, there's a silver bullet, a quick fix. this is something that's going to take dedication on their end and some time. And you're basically there. Part of what you do, it sounds to me, is you're a cheerleader.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest things that we can do for our clients is support them, celebrate the times when they're struggling, and pick them up, when they make mistakes. Because, hey, we're all human, and this isn't an all or nothing program. We're trying to help people improve their health over time. People stumble, and that's okay.
Right. So as a coach, can a client of yours reach out to you as often as they want?
Sure, they certainly can. And if I'm not available, I would get back to them, as soon as I could, typically within that same business day.
I love it. I love it. I think a lot of people watching this are going to take notice, and they're going to say, you know what? I've not been as successful as I can on my own. Maybe someone, giving me that incentive, patting me on the back when I need it, that's the way to go. All right, everybody, one more slide to go. See you in a second. All right, I hope every one of you felt inspired. I know I'm ready to go out, run a few miles, man. No, Ben, it was a pleasure. This was really exciting. And, even though I know, obviously we're focusing on Take Shape for Life, and we hope it didn't sound too info commercially. That's not what we want to do. We really wanted to share hard information about what's the root of the problem here, but that there are solutions. This is just one option. There's a lot of them out there, but we wanted to get to the underlying issues. And got to have your 15 seconds and your promo. So we're looking at contact information, Ben, and it's up there. You have your corporate wellness program and how to contact your lovely other half, Marissa. So is any other way that people can get in touch with you or other aspects of that?
Certainly. I just want to back up for a second, though. You talked about, we want people to get healthy, and Take Shape for Life is certainly not the only way. There's a ton of different diet programs out there, and I would support anybody to try to improve your health. One of the things is make sure that you have support. So if you're going to go it alone, start with a friend, family member, whatever, but our nation's in dire need, and if you can reach out and help somebody, please do that.
I appreciate it. And I think you guys have do you have a Facebook site?
Yeah, we've got a Facebook site. It's private. The cool thing about it is you get a lot of support from people who are on the program. There'll be a lot of great recipes, all sorts of things of that nature. And then also we have a weekly newsletter that goes out, and it's emailed out. So if it's something that you're interested in, drop us a line at our email, and we will send it out. It's got great recipes, tips. That's what we do.
Very cool. If you're a guy out there and you're sick of doing the suck it in routine, and you're walking around, because we all do it, don't lie. My wife catches me. She goes, why are you sucking it in? So if you're sick of doing that and you want to be like Ben, because I know I do, then give Take Shape of Life a shot. Contact somebody, get the help you need. Let's help turn the tide. America, get fit. Ben,
thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you're a client of Holman HR, thank you. If you're not, join up. Stay tuned. We'll have another great guest soon. Take care, everybody.